a slightly battered copy. Oh, and I'm wearing my gown. Hello, it's Ruby, and today I'm going to be sharing a weekend vlog with you, a weekend in my life at university. The one thing you will notice about this video is that I study out of my room a lot. I study in libraries, I like studying in cafes, which I never actually used to like doing, but since arriving in Oxford, it's been my default. And that is where NordVPN comes in really useful. NordVPN is sponsoring today's video, and it's the easiest way to change your VPN address. Changing your VPN address is a great idea if you like to study out of the house, if you like to study in cafes or libraries, because the networks might not always be very secure, and this is a way just to keep your data safe when you're browsing on public networks. So I like to switch my VPN when I'm in a library or I'm in a cafe on a public network. So to change your VPN address, you have this map and you can just click anywhere in the world and change your location in just 2 clicks. It's so easy to use, and you have over 4,000 servers to choose from. So if you want to try NordVPN, then you can click on my link and get an extra 4 months on the 2-year plan, and also a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can try it out without risk. But anyway, thank you so much to NordVPN for sponsoring today's video, and without further ado, let's get into the weekend vlog and all of the libraries and cafes in which I will be studying. So I'm starting off this morning in the Radcliffe Camera, which is one of my favourite places to work in Oxford. I don't think we can underestimate the power of space. The space that we're in can change the way that we act, the way we interact, which makes sense given how relational we are. No man is an island, which honestly I'm taking terribly out of context, ironically. Oscar Wilde puts it very well. Actually, in relation to Oxford, he said, "But Venice, like Oxford, had kept the background for romance, and to the true romantic, background was everything, or almost everything." And even though this is slightly satirical, there is some truth in it. And we've obviously had this resurgence in romanticising your life, and sometimes that's put down, sometimes that's ridiculed, but romanticising your life is actually pretty great because it makes us happier. And it's easier to romanticise a beautiful library like the Radcliffe Camera, which is why I make an effort to go out and study here. And I know I'm very lucky to have this as an option of a place to go and study, but the key thing I just want to say is it's important to try and make an effort to find places you enjoy studying and places that inspire you. So I've got friends who love working in coffee shops, for example. Enjoying the space and being in a space which inspires you is actually really useful. I was going to say good morning, but it's not the morning, it's the afternoon. I spent the morning at the Radcliffe Camera, which is honestly my favourite place to study. Every single time I'm working in there, I just kind of can't believe that I'm there, and it's very easy to get distracted. So you have to be careful not to look up at the ceiling for too long. I thought I would film a weekend at Oxford with you today. Well, over today and tomorrow. It's Saturday, and I haven't really sat down and spoken to you obviously, but it's currently 1:15. So I'm planning to go out for lunch because Saturday, and I will bring something analogue to do while I'm there. I wanted to stay for longer at the library, but my iPad ran out of charge. But it's good because it meant that I ended up reading that book by Robert Blair. I'm not even kidding, it is one of the best poems I've ever read. It's like an extended poem. I think it's about 30 pages, and this particular edition is illustrated by William Blake, and at the end of the edition they had all of these works in progress from William Blake, so the sketches and pencil drawings before he actually did the engravings, and honestly I prefer William Blake's like pencil drawings and sketches. I love the kind of processual state of them, but the poem itself, good one for around Halloween honestly, because the beginning is very gothic. It's about death, the grave, and the beginning is very physical, these vivid descriptions of people kind of on the edge of death, fearing death, not wanting to die, being desperate to escape that fate. There's this one image of this woman weeping blood as she tries to run away from death. Like, it's vivid and it's graphic. But then slowly over the course of the poem you go from this like kind of bodily like fear of death to a more Christian religious narrative where Blair says that we shouldn't be afraid of death, and that kind of like the fear of death is for a single moment, but what comes afterwards is, you know, heaven and it's beautiful. I'm not actually Christian, but I really love Christian poetry, and in the second half of the poem there is so much biblical imagery as well, very subtly done. They're not always subtly done. There's this image of like angels with flaming swords, which is, I'm sure, taken directly from Revelation. It's one of those poems which, I mean, academically it is interesting, but I don't think I've read something which has so kind of like viscerally affected me. I found so emotional to read, because it is so just like immediate and vivid, and it also touches on these very real fears of death that we all do have. Yeah, I just can't recommend it enough, and maybe I've just been talking in the wrong circles, but I've never heard of it before as well, and the only reason I requested it from the library is because I saw it as illustrated by William Blake. I don't know why it's so underrated. I think it's excellent and I would recommend reading it, and I'm thinking maybe I'll go to Blackwell's today to see if I can find a copy of it. But anyway, that's beside the point. I am going to open this. I had 2 parcels come today. The first one I already opened. It's a slightly battered copy of Salome by Oscar Wilde, because we're reading this week in one of my modules, which I'm so thrilled about, because I mean, anything by Oscar Wilde is brilliant. Beardsley illustrations, and there are quite a few editions I could have gone for, but I went for this because I just love a classic Faber and Faber. I know this is quite random, but not only do I love the covers, but I love the paper that they use. I don't know what GSM it is, I don't know how it's different from other paper, but there's something about a Faber and Faber book which is just so like nice to kind of handle. Let me know your favourite imprint or favourite publisher, because Faber and Faber for the win for me. I also had this parcel come, and I think I know what this is. Ah, yes. It is from Whittards. Oh no, that's got the things that are in there. I won't look. Oh, this is so exciting. There's so much stuff in here. This is so good, this one. I get this for my mum most years for Mother's Day. This is a new one. I haven't seen this before. There's a salted caramel one, and then a marzipan one. The marzipan one, I've wanted to try for so long. This one, salted caramel, I didn't even know that they did this. There's a mug as well. It's like a proper hot chocolate mug. I love mugs like this, they're so convenient. Oh, okay then, here's the teas. They did actually ask me which ones I wanted to try, and so these are the 2 that I did say I was really keen to try. I love coconut tea, but this sounds particularly interesting. It says, blending a base of pure white tea with creamy coconut and cacao nibs. And then the second one is chocolate popcorn. I'm so excited. Oh, that's a nice size mug. And so a massive thank you to Whittards for sending me that. I need to get this camera fixed. It's so purple. So after that, I headed out to that coffee shop, as I say. I actually popped into a few shops first. There was something I needed to grab from Ryman's, and I also went to look at the beautiful accessorized decorations. Honestly, one of my favorite places recently has been Olenstein, and I just read Salome whilst I was here with a cinnamon social. Is that what they're called? And the sun was setting when I got back to college, and honestly it was so beautiful. But I didn't stay for long. I think I literally ran up to grab something, and then I went to the Radcliffe camera again, and I was doing some dissertation work here. So this morning I was working on my like optional module essay, but here I was doing some transcription for my dissertation and also writing up a few paragraphs. And I stayed there until it closed, and then I went to my college library, which is open 24 hours a day, and I got my favourite desk, which I was so happy about, honestly, and I was just doing more dissertation work here. I cut myself off earlier when I was trying to talk to you about the importance of space, so I'm just going to pop back in to talk about that now in the voiceover. It's something I've been thinking about a lot recently. Our environment does change our mindset. Of course, there have been a lot of research recently suggesting that green space can have an effect on happiness, and also recently a lot of work on the value of water and seeing water for mental health. So there's this project Blue Health, which is researching the links between blue spaces, especially in cities, and health. But beautiful spaces make a difference too. Just anecdotally, think about how things taste better in beautiful restaurants, or when you're surrounded by people that you really love. The way you understand your space, the associations you have with your space, are going to affect the way that you then perceive and interact with it. And Lindsay T. Graham from the University of California at Berkeley says, and I quote, "Our homes can be incredibly important tools for shaping our daily experiences. Depending on how you decorate and organise your home can invoke a different range of feelings." again, just illuminating that idea that our space actually has a tangible effect on the way that we interact with it. I just got changed into this jumper and I had dinner as well, and I'm now going to go back, I think, to the college library to finish up with these readings for next week. I haven't got through everything I wanted to do today, but to be fair, I did write a really long to-do list. But ideally, I want to read at least 2 of the critical essays I need to read for one of my modules. I think maybe I'll try and work until 9:30, but I'm gonna make myself a hot chocolate. And I don't know which one to try. I want to know, I'll try this one because it's the one I'm most excited about. Let's do a taste test. It doesn't taste very almond-like. It's good hot chocolate. This jumper is so cute. It's nearly 10 o'clock and I just got back from the library. I'm just gonna get into bed and read now, so I will see you in the morning. So now here we are on Sunday, and I started off with a beautiful bowl of porridge. Good morning. I just popped to Pratt and got an iced black Americano. I don't like black coffee, but I prefer like making my latte at home. I like to shake it first because it kind of aerates the coffee. It makes it taste less bitter. I just add the Mourato syrup from Monin, which is my favourite. I've got a study group meeting at my friend's college in like 10-15 minutes. But it's really close to me, so it's fine. So for one of my modules, we have them put into ALGs, like study groups, and each of the ALGs is given a different topic, which they then research and discuss and feed back on in the seminar, just to kind of, oh, that was too much. Just to make sure that we cover everything in more depth and that everyone also gets a chance to speak, I suppose. This week we're looking at early modern women writers, and honestly the text that we've been given is so great. We're reading Katherine Phillips. My group, however, is doing the Casket Sonnets by Mary Queen of Scots. There's so much to discuss in terms of editorial power. Her sonnets, if you didn't know, were used to indict her as evidence, execute her. There's so much political weight in these sonnets, and there's been so much speculation about whether they are like actually from her, but really cool. And the thing which we're being encouraged to think about is removing the sonnets from those historical contexts. It feels a shame to only marry them with that historical context, which is what we typically see when we're looking at early modern female writers. They'll only be like important because it's able to tell us something about, you know, like the historical period or women at the time, or like another author, as opposed to just looking at the literature on its own merit. So it's really cool for that, and that's something I feel very strongly about. And there is my delicious almond iced latte. So as I say, I went for a study group meeting at my friend's college, which was so beautiful as well, especially with all of the autumn leaves. And he pointed out that they have these stained glass authors in their chapel. So that's Shakespeare there, and you can't see quite so well, but that's Milton. And when I got back, I made myself some tea because I was so cold.
Maybe slightly lazy of me. Oh, it smells really good. It smells like hot chocolate. That's really good. It's quite subtle. I wonder if I should have left it to brew for longer. I'm quite cold because we sat outside in November for 2 hours. And my hands are like just slightly numb. I want to make a bibliography, which I want to do here because it'll be much easier to do on my computer. And then I'm gonna head out to the Bodleian to do some studying before dinner.
I've recently been on such a Garamond streak. I'm just using Garamond for everything.
Let me know your favourite font. I love Times New Roman, Calibri, and at the moment Garamond.
I did procrastinate for a little bit, I will say. Now I'm gonna get on to doing this. I just got back from the library. I was filming that last clip, which I think, hopefully, I haven't actually checked it, but hopefully it came out really well because that will make it worth the embarrassment that I faced in that library. But I thought it would be a really good shot to have the Radcliffe camera in the background through the window, and then for it to get dark as I was working. I had it envisioned, I thought it would look really good. And there was no one on any of the desks around me. So I was also like, perfect, no one will see me. And so I put my camera on the next desk on top of my keep cup. I'm just really setting the scene here. When they're closing up the library, someone comes around and like closes the windows or checks the windows. And this person saw the camera, but it's not obviously a camera because it's a GoPro. So it doesn't look like a camera. I'm working with my headphones in. And he goes, "What's that red flashing thing?" And so I had to explain that I was filming myself and it was a camera. He seemed really confused as to why I was filming myself study, and I didn't want to explain, so I just kind of left it. He's now probably thinking that I'm the strangest person ever, but hopefully the clip is good. It's Sunday night, and I think I mentioned this earlier, but I'm going to dinner with a friend tonight, which I'm really excited for, and I got to wear my gown for it as well, which is fun. We're gonna go to Evensong and then we're gonna have dinner. Okay, I actually really need to go. I'm kind of late. Oh, and I'm wearing my gown, which I never get a chance to wear because I haven't been to a formal at my college where I've had to wear one yet. Okay, so then just to finish this video, I went to St John's for Evensong and dinner, and it was so much fun. Honestly, I had the best time. The food was really good. We even got crumble for dessert, which was really, really tasty. This is me and Holly as well. And yes, that brings us to the end of this video. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much, NordVPN, for sponsoring today's video. And I hope that you have more than just a productive week.